understudy of what is the highest.
Well, I understand, but we keep going through this issue about understudy. To me, it means that it's understudy to be a park.
It's been understudy for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's understudy to be
Right now,
determined.
There's an archaeological review being done, which I assume would be considered a study, and the American Planning Association is doing a study, so there's two studies going on.
No, the American Planning Association is not doing a study right now.
They're not doing it.
No.
We're not prohibiting
No, we
that
haven't
either.
started that study.
Okay.
We're not stopping anything.
And didn't we say earlier that the land use should match the zoning typically in a comp plan?
Yes.
But that's not always the case. And right now, the designation is understudy, which means the land use, as far as the comprehensive plan is concerned, has not been determined.
And what I said before regarding your question is that you determine the land use, and then the zoning should be compatible with the land use. I wasn't suggesting, the land use is the first determination, and then the zoning should be consistent.
So just, if the land is maintained as park, and then it would still fall under the purview of Parks and Recreation, correct? And at that point, if there is, maybe if it's through Parks and Rec, a recommendation to add, not residential, but some type of element to that land to enhance it, to provide better value to its purpose.
Some of the people in
Where-
like Huntington or.
Right, so I guess my question is, what channel would that go through? Would it have to go back? Would we have to be motion to put it under study in order to
It
do that?
wouldn't, that wouldn't impact the land use at all.
Okay, that was my question.
Because there's been a lot of comment, exactly how does it become used if it stays park? There's lots of running of kayaks or having, like, somebody compared it to First Landing or somebody compared it to Huntington.
Those are all park uses.
Right.
Schools?
I did prepare a kind of long thing because I was going to make the same motion that was
Sorry.
made. I'm glad you did that, and I was happy to second it. But I looked at it as page by page going through what I had, the copy of the comprehensive plan that I had, because I did not have the most current copy available. And page 11, first thing it says, it's a legal document. State code requires land use components on the document. So to me, one of the most important things was getting the land use on that property. Page 11, it also starts out with, I would assume the Planning Commission, because we're putting this forward, we added a layer of additional participation called the Comprehensive Plan Citizen Advisory Committee, which is an oversight committee to make sure that what we were doing was correct and was what the people wanted. I was on that from the beginning, went to as many of them as I could, and I know from the very beginning, the first question Mr. Lemon made was, what are these red marks? And what do they mean? How they got there, why they're there, I don't know, it doesn't matter to me. But what are they? Why are they here? There was a concern at that point in time that people wanted to know why it was there, how it got there, and how do we get rid of it. So for 5 years, every single Citizens Advisory Planning meeting that was there, somebody brought that question up at every single meeting, and they were told, it's under study, don't worry about it, we'll get to it later. Just follow this through to completion, you'll know what's going on, don't matter. They've come. They want to get rid of the stripes that say under study. We added an additional layer of oversight, the Comprehensive Plan Citizen Advisory Committee, and they want it changed. I think we should listen to them. Page 13, there was hundreds of citizens worked tirelessly, the words in here. So our comprehensive plan is bragging on the fact that the citizens were involved in this comprehensive plan from the beginning, 5 years of planning, to the end, all the way through. Hundreds of citizens worked tirelessly, page 13. Page 15, we had a citizen survey. We hired people to do a survey. We sent it out. We did a citizen survey to find out what the citizens wanted. Page 17, it describes the citizens advisory participation, a 28-person group that met to assist in the development Doesn't want to read out of here. Assist in the development of goals and the vision for Newport News. Review the draft, provide feedback. They've done that. Many of them are here, they brought their friends. The last meeting, they were hosting the meeting during our public review. There were individuals there, and then present the final plan to Planning Commission. I was surprised that all 28 of those people were not there. I don't know if they didn't get an invitation, why they weren't there. Maybe they were all invited. I know I did not get a particular invitation as a comprehensive plan person to come and present it to the Planning Commission. I was there as a Planning Commission. Page 17, summary of citizen input would be in Appendix B. I haven't had a chance to read it because I was just shown Appendix B today. So I don't know what the input was. I don't know how much of that talks about whether they want to park. On page 25, the SWOT analysis, which is Appendix C. I don't know that we have an Appendix C, but it was also public input. Haven't seen it, don't know if it got included. Don't know if it talks about whether the stakeholders wanted quality of life. Because the stakeholders being the businesses that are forming in Newport News, quality of life is being able to get to the green space. Without the green space, you don't have quality of life. Your big businesses aren't going to come here because their people can't go out to the park and eat their lunch. They can't go out to the park on the weekend. They don't have quality of life. You're not going to get the big companies. Page 52, there's a sustainability city map that's in my copy. It shows the park space and the area, for that whole area, talking about a sustainable city park, shows all of the park space at Riverview Farm as park, designated green as park. There's no stripes on that map to show that it's not designated as a park. If you go out to Newport News website and you type in Riverview Farm Park, there's a map there. That map is green. There's no stripes on it. Page 52, 6, Page 112, it talks about the Deep Creek Master Plan, which was done in 1990. And from that master plan, the Riverview Farm Park Plan was born. And just from September to July 91, a park plan was put together. It was with a bunch of citizens. They were tasked by the city council, by the master park plan to come up with a park plan, and they did. They knew they would have to wait, and the reason they did it, because they had noticed development pressure was mounting. Back in the 1980s, development pressure was mounting. That's when we had a lot of land, and the pressure was mounting. Patrick Henry Mall was built in 1987. So between 1980 and now, more development pressure has mounted. It's the last little piece of parkland, other than the big city park at Newport News, that we've got available. Now in 2018, development pressure is still mounting. The same people who are alive today, I will say, are fighting to keep the space. I know there are other members of those committees who worked on the Deep Creek Plan, the Riverview Farm Park Plan, that are not alive today to come and talk about the plan because they've died over the past 25 years. There's other people that are in their 90s. They can't drive. They can't be here. And they had a voice back then. They developed a plan for people my age. I'm 55 now, and some people were making that plan. You know, I'm in their position now to say, green space is necessary. We need to save this. We need to fight against any kind of development pressure and keep that plan. Page 139, the draft plan says, I think we read it before, significant support to add the city farm to the Riverview Farm Park. It says to add the city farm to the Riverview Farm Park plan. If you look at the Riverview Farm Park plan, it is already encompassing the city farm. We don't have to add it to it, it's already in the plan. And same thing, 6473-91, City Council accepted it as all one piece back in 1991. Page 153, in general, zoning designations align with the land use designation of future land map use. In general, so if we don't have it aligned, it's not aligned, it's not matching. Everything that's come to us here, it's always like, I looked on the map, here's the map, we have to change the land use, we have to change it to match the zoning, there has to be 2 steps for everything to go through, and I think by not having it in park, you're not able to say this goes against the comprehensive plan. By having it as understudy, there isn't a land use that you're given. I looked up the different land uses on the APA website, the American Planning Association, and there is no land use called understudy. So, and when you look at land use, they talk about developed land, undeveloped land. They said when you look at undeveloped land, that doesn't mean it's not used land. It may be undeveloped, it may be park, but it has a use. And the use may not show up in structures, but it shows up with the ball fields, it shows up with the green space, it shows up with the ability to use the land as a park to have activities and different things come together there. So even though it's undeveloped, does not mean it doesn't have a use. And that was what I wanted to add to the discussion.